All right. Manila Bay, guys. Manila Bay. Ano ba nangyayari sa Manila Bay? Okay. Welcome to Podform episode, I don't know, 24, I guess. Welcome to Podform, guys, kung saan nag-uusap-usap tayo about na mga kung ano na nangyayari sa Pilipinas, no, sa mga politika sa gobyerno at kung ano-anong ano natin diyan, drama natin. Wala na kasi masyadong TV ngayon, wala ng ABS-CBN, so mas interesante na talagang mas interesting na talagang sumubaybay na lang sa Twitter o sa Facebook ng mga istorya na gobyerno na nakakatuwa. But right now, our topic for today is actually Manila Bay. It's getting hotter right now, the topic. Kung nakikita niyo sa Twitter, nagtitrending siya sa Facebook. You're talking about this white sand, all right? If I'm not mistaken, is it Dolomite? Dolomite. I'm not really familiar with it, but it's the man-made sand na sinasabi nga nila, no? So, ang ang tawag nila dito sa proyekto ng Manila Bay is like man-made beach, right? So it's not a natural beach, they're putting white sand on it, but it's a man-made beach. But anyway, ngayon, ang mainit na naman is nakita ko sa YouTube, no? Nakita ko sa iba, si Karen Davila, na naman siya, nag-interview na naman. Interview niya si Isko Moreno, and they're always talking about this, complaints and critics and all. At meron pa isang trending, no? Shinare ni Thinking Pinoy. I'm gonna post that in the video kung sa pag-edit natin, no? Pero yung mga tilapia, right? Yung mga patay na tilapia lumalabas, wala na daw kaliskis. So kung meron daw laglag bala before, ngayon may laglag tilapia naman. So we're gonna break that down. Anong opinion nyo doon? Anong opinion natin doon? Let me begin with the white sand, all right, of this Manila Bay. It's actually sad bakit hindi na lang tayo maging masaya, right? Sa mga bagay-bagay na ini-improve ng gobyerno para sa atin, ini-improve ng mga sarili natin. I don't know if it's just a really typical crab mentality nga ng Pilipino na pag may nakakita tayong umaangat, gusto natin, hinihila natin siya pababa, right? It's the crab mentality, I believe, di ba? So, pag may nakikita tayong ginagawang proyekto or something, we will always look on possibility of corruption or we will always critic it, we will always talk about bad things, right? Dolomite, may mga patay na isda, whatever. Not realizing kung ano yung positivity na may bibigay nun sa atin ngayon. But I guess it's normal because our job, again, sabi nga ng iba, critical thinking Pinoy is to really think at continuously critic the government so that they will do their job continuously as well, right? So you can probably agree to disagree about that. But okay, let's start with this, right? I've noted some of the topics that we'll have to discuss regarding this white sand, right? Dolomite in Manila Bay. Unang-una is yung rehabilitation, right? Pandemic, COVID, and all. So a lot of other people, probably media, right? Mainstream media, as well as some of the lawmakers, I don't want to call it dilawan or kung sino man sila, right? Because not everyone is like that. But a lot of other lawmakers, senators specifically, and again, people, media, are kind of like against, right, on this idea, and they're asking the government to stop, all right, this rehabilitation because pandemic nga, no? So, ang rason nila is, again, naglalagay tayo ng mga buhangin dito, ginagastosan natin to, tama ba naman timing to, ngayon pa ba, na pandemic, na ang daming nangyayari, dapat bigas na lang ipamigay sa mga tao, and all of this, typical Filipino sentiments, right? Sa akin, again, what we do in Podform and Glentas, we always, of course, think both ways, and of course, maintindihan mo yung point nila, right? Pandemic nga naman, bakit ka magfo-focus sa proyekto o ibang proyekto na pampaganda lang while we're all struggling on our economy because of this pandemic? So, I believe they got a point right there, right? The problem that I'm seeing is that itong proyekto na to, if I remember correctly, right? This has been ongoing long before this pandemic, right? So, 2 years na 'to, 2 years na 'to mahigit or approximately 2 years na 'tong project na 'to, yung maraming proseso 'to, right? Yung tatanggal ng basura muna, lilinisan and all, ang dami nitong proseso na 'to and I'm pretty sure hindi natin nakikita sa surface 'no, na napakalaking project talaga 'to, hindi 'to basta-basta, right? So, dumating lang yung point na pandemic nga ngayon, naabutan tayo and they're putting white sand on it already. Kinda like last phase na sila nung project, at least cleanliness, right? Nung ano, so napapansin na natin. But pinapahinto nga to ng mga senators and lawmakers and some other guys thinking na hindi to nararapat ngayon. My question on this, because we always ask this, if you realize yung Filipino mentality, we always do this. Bakit ngayon to? Bakit ganito? Bakit ganito? Bakit ako? Right? Among other millions of people, bakit ako? Yung mga ganun, di ba? Mail tayo sa ganito. Ang sa akin, kung hindi natin to gagawin ngayon o kung hindi natin ko continue ngayon, kailan? Right? Because we might have, bigger problems in the future. I don't know kung may mas lalaki pa sa pandemic na to, no? But one thing is for sure, pag nilabas nila to sa future, work it out in the near future, we'll always have reasons or other things na i-consider na mas importante kesa dito, right? So we will just coin the same thing, right? We'll just say the same thing na bakit ganito, bakit ngayon marami tayong problema, droga o ekonomiya or something. Wala tayong matatapos, right? So it's always going to be like halted and then pahintuhin to because of other stuff, right? Rather than tapusin na siya para matapos na siya, hindi na siya problemahin, and then we can move forward to other projects, right? Yun lang yung sa akin, yun lang yung sa akin. I don't know about you, just put down the comments kung iba, of course, yung pananaw nyo dyan. I will definitely respect your opinion about it. But sa akin is ganun lang. Kung ipapahinto natin siya, kailan pa, right? And ano ba talaga yung valid reason natin na ipahinto siya? I mean, after 2 years of work, after 2 years of project and hard work of all the people that are working so hard to get this done, ngayon na nakikita natin yung white sand at medyo gumaganda yung itsura ng Manila Bay, ito na naman tayo mga Pilipino and we'll bring this down again, right? We're gonna look for some arguments, some law, some writing, some loopholes na pwede natin i-exploit para lang mahila na naman yung proyektong to. Isn't it sad, right? Isn't it sad? So yun lang sa akin. But I definitely agree to Isko Moreno on this one na syempre sa Manila yung proyekto niya, city, maliit lang naman yun, he's focusing on pandemic, all of the budgets and all. So I definitely agree. Sa budget nila, local government and all, you have to concentrate first on your constituents, right? Yung mga tao niya kasi mas nangangailangan yan. Then, kaya nga tayo yung mga local government, right? Para tutukan mo yung mga tao mo. And then the bigger government will then do the projects like this, right? Another thing is, remember before, ginawa na to sa Boracay, right? A lot of people are already complaining about this. They complain again and again. Nung pinasara yung Boracay, marami daw nawala ng trabaho. ABS-CBN is interviewing people na, okay ka lang ba? Magugutom ka ba? They always do this, right? They always find bad things about great things, right? Or Filipino people always look for the worst scenario of things. And again, I cannot probably blame them because mahirap tayo yung pinagdaanan natin. But media is like conditioning us to think this way instead of being optimistic and hopeful in our future, right? May nakita ko isang country o isang tao, foreigner, na nagsabi na Philippines is being classed as a developing country, right? Not third world country anymore. And sabi niya, please do not pull your country down, right? Or wag mo siraan yung bansa mo, pababa, something like that. And it's kind of sad na itong tayo, na nare-recognize tayo na ibang bansa as developing country, probably more investor in all. As nakikita nyo naman, gaganda ng mga trabaho natin ngayon dito, puro na tayo investors. Pinagkakatiwalaan tayo, no? Developing country indeed. Pero meron tayong mga media at mga nganing mga Pilipino na walang ginawa kundi manira, gumawa ng istorya at kung ano pa. And it's just sad. It's just sad. Bakit hindi lang tayo magtulungan lahat in a greater good, for one Philippines na maging muunlad tayo, right? Finally, maging makilala tayo sa buong mundo as really developing country. So I hope dumating yung time na yun. But going back on this, again, Boracay did this before and nakita niyo naman after magawa yung Boracay, sino yung unang-unang proud? Right? Mga artista, mga media, punta sila doon, picture-picture, post-post ng maganda naman yung Boracay. It's kinda funny to think, right, na sila yung mga unang naninira, but then pag natapos na yung proyekto at pag maganda na, sila naman yung proud na proud. I mean, come on. Filipino media, right? When will you change? Another one is Dolomite issue. Again, the Dolomite, you can just probably Google it up, but it's the material that they use on the fake sand, right? So, ang media, mainstream media, I'm talking about mainstream media, is focusing on this again for legalities and all, saying na yung DNR is, basta nilang daw ni-roll tong Dolomite na to without asking the Manila, right, government, Isko Moreno, for permission or, specification na ito yung gagamitin namin Dolomite. And I understand that they should respect in each other or whatever, but I mean, kung meron man common sense yung media, no, I don't know. DNR is yung ahensya na nangangalaga ng natural resources, na nangangalaga ng ganito, ng karagatan, ng kung ano-ano man, right? Why would they ask for permission of a local government kung dapat mas mataas sila sa local government? Because they don't worry about Manila only. They worry about the entire Philippines, for Christ's sake. Right? ABS-CBN, I don't know kung sino nagsusulat ng mga question ng ABS-CBN, kung si Karen Davilan talaga. But hindi ba nila naisip yon? DNR goal, right, is to protect our natural resources, karagatan, at kapaligiran, at kung ano-ano pa in the environment natin. Of course, that's why it's DNR, right? Bakit nila sisirain, right? Or bakit sila mag-e-effort, gagastos, o kung ano magtatrabaho para sa ikasira ng trabaho nila, right? It doesn't make sense, right? Now, of course, naghingi daw sila ng permission sa Manila local government, saying na maglalagay sila ng buhangin and all. But ayon kay Isko Moreno, they don't ask for details na ano bang material gagawin ng buhangin mo, ano mga chemical, because they probably know that DNR knows better, right? They're just local government at may gagawin proyekto yung gobyerno sa ano mo na ikagaganda ng Manila Bay. Bakit ka magre-refuse? Bakit ka magiging Karen, right? So, I don't know, bakit hindi lang nakikita yung point doon? But again, Dolomite has been proven by DOH as well na hindi naman siya harmful, alright? So safe siya. Safe siya. May issue is about the issue is about Dolomite dust, being not or being not healthy or harmful in the people lungs and all. But imagine, sige, wag na mag-Dolomite, wag na magbuhangin. Yung basura na lang dati na nilalanghap mo, yung mga fumes na lang ng basura at mga kung ano ng bahoy nilalanghap mo, do these people think na mas healthy yon, na mas better yung basura ang langhapin mo kaysa sa buhangin, kaysa man-made buhangin? Dolomite is being used in other countries as well, in other countries na pinapaganda nila yung mga beaches nila, ginagawa nilang man-made beaches, it's not gonna be used if it's really harmful for people, right? Pero yung mga basura, yung mga pinagtatapon natin, langis at kung ano namang ginagawa natin pollution sa Manila Bay, yun yung harmful. Not only for people, but to the fishes and to the, mga lamang dagat mismo, right? Speaking of fishes, oh my God. I don't know. Hindi ko pa masyado nababasa ng but yung pinagtatawanan kasi ng mga tao dito is may nakita daw silang tilapia, right? At wala nang kaliskis. Tilapia, no? Nakita nila lumulutang-lutang, magay-mata and all, na parang pwedeng-pwede na siyang pang pangat pang prito kasi wala nang kaliskis, nakakatakmang itsura. But yun, so again, I'm gonna put that in this video somewhere there. Pero ayun dito. I don't know. So a lot of people are thinking na nilagay ito ng dilawan o kung sino man ang sabotahe. Now, DNR actually claimed that it found this tilapia, dead fish, among the recently rehabilitated Manila Bay. The problem here is that alam naman natin lahat na ang tilapia is normally on a fresh water, right? Living on fresh water like ilog, sapa, and all, not on salt water, right? But I don't know. We're not experts, right? Again, I hand it over to DNR, some other scientists out there. Maybe it's possible na magkaroon ng mga tilapia, right? Sa salt water for some reason. But I mean, come on, right? Bakit after 2 years in the making, maglalagay ng buhangin, ng bino-beautify na siya, beautification and all, para matapos na, para maging maganda na. And imagine, tignan mo yung Manila Bay before, kung ano siya ngayon, napakalaking difference. Tapos ito, maglalabasan tayo mga Pilipinong utak crab, utak talangka, uh, media, politicians and all, saying their piece again, pulling ano man nga nila, sympathy, right? Parang, alam yung ginagawa ni Ontiveros pag may mga issue, magsasalita, o ginagawa nila ng iba, di ba? Magsasalita para makuha yung simpatya ng tao, magagalit na naman sa gobyerno and all. We always do this, and politicians always do this before. Sana naging matalino tayo ngayon para maintindihan natin na i-respect yung sarili nating mentality, sarili nating desisyon and observation kaysa sa magpadala tayo sa emosyon na nakikita natin sa mga politicians at mga media na trying to condition our minds, right? So, for these fishes, I have I think up to this day, wala pang nakakapagpatunay kung nilagay ba ito ng kusino or whatnot. But for me, this is really like a petty things to ponder, right? Hindi naman sila nakakita ng mass fish kills na lahat nagkakamatay na because nilagay nila yung buhangin and all. But meron namang instances before na yung mga isda nakakakain ng plastic, yung mga coral reefs nasisira kasi mga basura, right? They're not worried about that. Tapos mas worried pa sila ngayon sa Dolomite, sa dust na ginagawa ng mga buhangin na actually it's impossible almost na baka mamamatay yung mga isda. It's ridiculous, to be honest. It's definitely ridiculous. What do you think, guys? Yung itong bang tilapia na sinasabi nila is totoo? Sa palagay nyo ba? Alright, sa expertise nyo, kasi may mga expert yan. Palagay nyo ba totoo tong tilapia na nilalagay nila dun sa may buhangin? Um, is it really a sabotage? Because DENR themselves says that they're not removing the possibility of an act of sabotage, of course. Ayon kay spokesperson Benny Antiporda, sabi niya. So, pwedeng possible na magkaroon ng mga ganon. However, of course, they're not removing the possibility of sabotage as is always happening in the Philippines, right? But of course, sinabi naman nila, kinonfirm din nila na meron naman ng mga species ng saltwater tilapia. Like what I said earlier, hindi naman yun imposible, right? It might happen, no worries. However, kailangan pang i-verify dito kung yun ba talaga yung mga namatay na tilapia, for the investigation and all. Kasi yung nakita natin tilapia is like yung mga nabibili natin sa palengke. Very, very enticing, very delicious looking. Okay? Now, again, nakapanood ko, panoorin niyo yung interview kay Karen Davila, kay Isko Moreno about this, from Karen Davila. And I don't know. I cannot I cannot think any other interviews like Karen Davila. And I'm not talking about this for good, no. What I meant is like pag nanood ka ng interview ni Karen Davila kahit before sa ABS-CBN and all, pag nanood ka, it's always like this, I don't know if it's if that's her job. I don't know. Maybe I'm not really media person or at least news personnel, but hindi eh. Pag nanonood ako ng mga GMA or something, they're asking, set of questions, but it's not really like Karen Davila's questions. If you watch Karen's like the epitome of being a Karen, it's like Karen Davila is really the Karen of the Philippines, and it's ridiculous. Kung magtanong siya, she's just all critic, trying to overtalk, right? Sko, and she always does that. Like, napapanood ko before yon sa mga interview. So, magtatanong siya ng mga bagay-bagay. Dapat siguro kay Karen Dabil, nag-abogado na lang, hindi media. Kasi, medyo bastos. I think that's the job of abogado pag naglalaban sa korte, no? Wag nang pagsalitain yung kabila. Pero si Karen, parang ganun nakikita ko sa kanya. Wala siyang ginawa kundi magtanong, and then pag sumasagot ka na, and then you're proving your point, and parang matatalo mo siya, malilino na yung point mo, sisingit siya. Mayor, President Isko, President, Mayor Isko, President Duterte, sisingit siya para magmukhang nakakahiya yung sinasabi mo, magmukhang nag-i-stutter ka kasi singit siya, medyo maguguluhan ka, right? Tapos magsisingit-singit siya, she will try to interrupt you as if your arguments aren't valid at all, and she don't care about your arguments. She only care about her questions and whatever answer she wants. Pero pag pinuprove mo na yung point mo, she's gonna continuously interrupt you and prove her point nonetheless. And I'm pretty sure it's really a bad newscasting or media, right? It's disrespectful, at nakikita ko yung reason kung bakit sinara yung ABS-CBN for this alone. It's like it's really biased, right? Kung media sila, siguro magtanong siya and then give Isko and your interviewee a lot of time to answer, right? To really prove their point and to explain all of the things, right? All of the details na kailangan mong explain para ma-prove yung point mo. Pero siya magtatanong siya ng question, and then pag medyo hindi mo pa napupuno yung question, yung sagot mo, nandun ka pa lang sa medyo cliffhanger or alanganan ng sagot mo, bigla ka niyang i-interrupt, ikakat ka nila doon para mapahiya ka. The bad thing is, like, for her, the bad thing about her or about this for her though is dahil sa gagawa niyang yun, mas lalo siya napapahiya. Because Isko actually just kinain ng bumbon Isko si Karen dito, no? Answering all of the questions and smiling really sarcastically pag nakikita ni Isko na may stupid question na naman na parating. And it's really, really funny. I highly recommend you to watch it. Ang sa akin lang, I don't know, wala ni ABS-CBN, but maybe this is the job of Karen Davila. She's doing it on ANC or some other online, whatever outlet. But they're continuously doing this bias na thing na ginagawa ng ABS-CBN na number one reason kung bakit sila natatanggal, no? Or isa sa mga reason bakit sila natanggal. But sana as Philippines, andun na ako sa critic and all, mag-criticize tayo and all, but this kind of newscasting and interviews just disrespectful, and napaka-obvious na yung ginagawa mo is you're just trying to destroy whatever the government or people of Philippines are trying to do, for Philippines to be better, to develop the country, right? Ken, ginawa niya to sa may Boracay, kung ano mga proyekto, nandiyan sila. Tapos ngayon, nandiyan na naman sila, magko-complain sila. Come on, sana bigas na lang daw, hindi buhangin. Di ba kinaka-high blood pag naririnig niyo yung mga ganitong tanong, di ba? It's ridiculous, right? It's out of the question, supposedly. Alam naman natin na may pandemic, may mga issue, right? May ginagawa naman tayo dyan, right? Isang bagay na kailangan natin pagbigyan ng attention, at yun yung mga bagay na kailangan natin pag-attention. If we're not gonna do that and we're just gonna focus something else, i-complain mo na naman yung pagdating ng panahon, right? Wala naman nagawa yung gobyerno sa basura, wala naman silang ginawa sa ganyan. Pag nilagyan naman natin ng budget doon at ginawa natin yung proyekto, sasabihin naman ng Pilipino, corrupt yan, marami tayong ginagawang dyan, ganyan-ganyan. Now, I'm not actually against that kind of thinking na at least about yung corruption, because ako bilang Pilipino, medyo sanay na rin ako na magtatayo ng proyekto ang isang government agency, tapos malalamok, kinurap-kurap lang pala, no? I know what to do about that. Maybe meron silang mga ahensya na talagang dapat transparency or dapat transparent, na dapat nakalista lahat ng proyekto and all of those stuff. But right now, my focus is like, I'm just thankful that the government is actually doing this right now, right? It's like, this is where your taxes are being spent, right? Imagine kung dito ginagawa, just focusing on pandemic and all, like probably previous administration. Imagine before, wala pa nga tayong pandemic before, right? Ito yung kauna-unahang administrasyon nagkaroon ng ganito kalalang pandemic, ganito like world issue. And marami tayong ginagawa, yung mga kung ano rapid test, may mga ilang buwan pa nagbigay ng mga ayuda-ayuda. Never pa to na-encounter ng kahit na sinong administration before. Nalinis ba nila yung Manila Bay? Imagine the time na si Erap is nasa may ilog, nasa Manila Bay, sa mga ilog ng Pasig yata or something. Nagtatapon ng basura, right? Intentional nagtatapon ng basura, tapos dinadampot pag videoan. Imagine how ridiculous our local government, our government before, right? Was. Tapos ngayon na may makikita tayo na may authentic na tao, President Duterte and some other government na they're doing their job na like Isko Moreno. Ngayon na nakikita natin na may mga ganito na, may mga gumagawa na ng proyekto, wala pa rin tayong gagawin kundi magreklamo pa rin, di ba? Para namang sayang naman sa mga Pilipino, kailan pa tayo uusad? Kailan pa tayo maging really developing country, really good country, kung palagi nating hihilahin yung mga ginagawang proyekto ng mga gobyerno natin, right? Again, talk about previous government, our tax is kind of like the same. Mas mataas pa nga tax natin before, right? Because of train law ngayon. Lalo ng mga single, double, whatever. Mas malaki pa yung tax natin before at mas, ginabayaran natin yan. Marami tayong ginagastos-gastos before. But our passports is like 5 years. Our driver's license is just 3 years. Diba? With the same amount. Pero ngayon, same amount is like 10 years, 5 years. Hindi pa naiisip ng mga Pilipino to. What our government is trying to do for the betterment of Philippines, right? Before walang pandemic, walang problema, hindi nila malinis sa Manila Bay. Ngayon, partida na, may pandemic na lahat, nagagawa pa rin to Manila Bay. Nagko-complain pa rin tayo. Guys, yun lang. It's just kind of sad for me na wala na tayong ginawa kundi mag-complain, no? But, I'm definitely there being due diligent and observing, being like a watchdog. You're observing your country, making sure na ginagawa ng mga government official yung mga kailangan lang gawin. Kung may mga corrupt, ganyan-ganyan, katulad ng PhilHealth, oh my God, sana may gawin yung government sa PhilHealth, no? Laki kasi nilang magkaltas. Sana may gawin sila. But yun lang guys. Gusto ko lang mabilis na opinion. Podform talks about Manila Bay. I'm pretty excited to be honest because sabi nga ni Isko Moreno, Manila Bay, along Ross Boulevard, has been always a beach before, right? Beach, not beach, right? So it was a beach long time ago. Yung mga lolo't lola natin, they enjoyed that, and yung mga hindi pa matindi mga population and pollution, right? Now, napabayaan na lang siya because of government, again, government, I don't know. So, maybe si Marcos ngayon walang kwenta kasi maganda siya yung panahon ni Marcos. Tapos yung mga nagdatingan na ibang presidente, pinabayaan na nila. Maybe wala nga kwenta si Marcos, I don't know. But ngayon na binabalik natin yung beauty ng Manila Bay, beauty ng buong Manila Bay. Imagine, no? Very rural place, very very city, right? Manila, Roas Boulevard. Tapos biglang may napakagandang Manila Bay Beach sa Manila Bay. Tapos may mga naliligo. Para tayong Miami nun, right? I don't know kung mangyayari yan in the near future. Maybe that's the end goal. But imagine that, para tayong Miami, right? Para tayong ibang bansa, para tayong Sydney, Australia, na biglang may beach, tapos may mga building na ang ganda-ganda ng paligid. Hindi puro basura, hindi mga riprap, hindi mga batang hamog, yung mga nakikita mo, mga squatter, right? It's gonna be good. And investors will see that, they will like building hotels and all call centers, all of the businesses that they got, and then hire more people. So that's more job for us, right? Again, developing country. Bakit hindi natin naiisip yun? We're just always looking for the nitpicks, right? So that's it. I'm all for that. Hopefully, Boracay nagawa na natin, Manila Bay sumunod na. I don't know what's next. Ano ba susunod? But sana magtuloy-tuloy ito, as a matter of fact. Amidst this pandemic and all, marami tayong problema, hindi ito matatapos. Kahit na hindi nila gawin itong mga Manila Bay, mga ganyan, at i-boost nila lahat ng budget nila sa pandemic, we'll always complain. We'll always say, this is not enough, this is that, you should do this, you should do that. So, might as well do other things para pagtapos ng termo na yung Presidente Duterte, nagawa niya ng mga part niya na hindi ginagawa ng ibang presidente before. So, hopefully, magtuloy-tuloy pa to at sana magtulong-tulungan ng mga Pilipino para gumanda naman ang Pilipinas, right? Despite of this pandemic, because we'll definitely see a rainbow, right? After this rain, and hopefully magkaisa tayo lahat sa mga ganitong proyekto para mapaganda ang ating bansa kaysa magkaisa tayong sirain siya. Right? Yun lang guys, that's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Click the like kung gusto mo tong video na to. Guys, please comment down below. Gusto ko marinig o mabasa yung mga opinion nyo about Manila Bay. Feeling nyo ba tama ba tong tinatahak nila to na gumagastos sila sa Manila Bay, whatever? Sana bigas na lang daw yung proyekto, no? Binudbud bigas, no? Binimigay sa mga tao bigas. Just let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of like this discussion and Netflix reviews. I'm gonna do a lot of this right again, Podform discussion. Meron na ako nito mga couple of discussions, so kung gusto niyo check out, this is also available in Spotify, by the way, especially previous one. Ito syempre di ko na-upload, but yung iba nasa Spotify, so if you want to check it out, it's Glenn Thoughts or Podform by Glenn Thoughts. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you. Thanks so much for listening and for watching. Stay safe, guys. Ingat kayo. See you on my next one. Peace.